This has to be 100%, absolutely, undeniably, the worst 1 hour of television in the history of television. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. It is time for your AEW Rampage review from the 16th of September 2022. Another shit show that I do not want to watch, I do not want to review, but we're here. I've already wasted an hour watching it, so it's time to absolutely bash it. And normally every single week I would bash Rampage anyway because it sucks, but holy fuck, this week's was worse. I don't know where to start. Do I start with the terrible matches? Do I start with the bad promos? Do I start with Samoa Joe being fat as fuck? I don't know. I don't know where we're going to start. In fact, we'll just start at the beginning because that's probably the best part of the show. And unfortunately, it went downhill after that. So we start this week's Rampage with Matt Hardy versus Darby Allin. The bad news for me is we know that Matt Hardy has no chance of winning this. And you look across the ring, you've got fucking 5 foot, booty shorts, tight wearing, fucking Darby Allin, looks like a woman, looks like a faggot, looks like whatever, man. You know what I mean? He looks like a kid skateboarding, man. This guy sucks, but 100% he is going to beat Matt Hardy. He is 100% going to beat Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy does not have a chance of winning this match, and he doesn't. Now, the commentator, Tony Schiavone, says Matt Hardy was an innovator long before Darby Allin was. What's Darby Allin doing? How's he innovating anything? He comes out with a skateboard, he wears face paint, he fucking cross-dresses. I mean, how's that an innovator? People have been doing that for ages, alright? There's loads of freak show bastards in the world doing what Darby Allin's doing. He wins with a roll-up, so he like locks up Matt Hardy's legs and does a roll-up. Absolute garbage. After the match, him and Matt Hardy shake hands. Darby Allin makes his way to the back. Matt Hardy's left in the ring. The lights go out. Jericho's acting surprised. Oh, I thought we were going to a break. Who turned out the lights? Who didn't pay the electricity? No, it's just fucking Brody King. Brody King comes out with Julia Hart. Julia Hart standing there. Matt Hardy can't take his eyes off Julia Hart. And in fairness, guys, I don't blame him because she's fucking hot. But, not the Dark Order. House of Black suck. It is what it is. Brody King then attacks Matt Hardy. He hits a clothesline on Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy sells it like he's been hit by a train. I mean, fair enough, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like a JBL clothesline from hell. It was a clothesline for a big overrated bastard called Brody King. So I don't know why Matt Hardy's selling it like this move's damn near killed him. Then Brody King demands that Sting and Darby Allin come out. Brody King says that just because they cut the head of they might have cut the head off the snake, but there's still lots of venom in the snake. Some shit like that. Then he says that it's going to be the House of Black versus Darby and Sting next week in a no disqualification match. Matt Hardy at this point is on the apron. Brody King locks in a sleeper hold. He's choking out Matt Hardy. And we see Darby Allin and Sting walk down to the ring in slow motion. They're literally walking at half a mile per hour. I mean, if they cared about Matt Hardy that much, and let's be real, why would they care about Matt Hardy? But what's the point of making the save if you're just going to walk at such a slow pace? It made no sense to me. And then Julia Hart pulled Matt Hardy's legs off the apron so that he was dangling and therefore applies more pressure. But Brody King isn't strong enough to hold on to Matt Hardy, and he drops him after a second. Then the lights go out. King and Julia Hart disappear. See, when the lights went out, I kind of got excited. I thought the show was finishing early, and I was like, thank fuck. It only lasted 10 minutes. But no, unfortunately, the lights came back on. Darby Allin helps up Matt Hardy. Darby Allin shakes Matt Hardy's hand, and that's the end of the segment. So yeah, Matt Hardy was hurt so bad that, Darby Allin came out, lifted him up, and Matt Hardy was fucking fine. So yeah, way to go and make Brody King look like an idiot. But yeah, no, just bang average match. Bang average end to the match, and what it is. But like I said, the show kind of did go downhill from here. Then we go backstage. We've got a vignette, pre-taped promo from Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston says that he doesn't like Sammy Guevara because Sammy Guevara's a punk and he's in it for the fame, and he says he's going to beat the piss out of Sammy Guevara. He might beat the piss out of Sammy Guevara, but Eddie Kingston looks like he smells like piss. Looks like he belongs on the side of the street with a cop begging for money. If I walked past Eddie Kingston in the street, I'd probably throw a couple of pound at him. I'd feel sorry for him. Looks like a homeless meth addict, man. What is wrong with this guy? He's got his beard's just like overgrown. It's like not kept trimmed or anything. It's just like grey going through the beard. He's wearing a beanie. He just legit looks like a bum. He legit looks like someone that sits on the street corner begging for change, willing to suck dick for a tenner. That's what Eddie Kingston looks like. So, I mean, then you look at Sammy Guevara, and I'm no fan of, like, Sammy Guevara, but, I mean, the guy's, like, chiseled, he's a good-looking kid and all this stuff, and then you've got, like, Eddie Kingston, who must be in his 40s now, has never done anything, has absolutely no muscle on his body whatsoever, just a bum. Just a fucking bum. And those two are supposed to be fighting each other. One guy looks the part, and the other guy legit looks like some homeless dude. So, yeah, it is what it is. Then we get fucking Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor. It's Claudio Canolio comes out with Wheeler Yuta, stands in the ring, interviewed by Tony Schiavone. Claudio mentions the fact that Wheeler Yuta lost the title 2 weeks ago or whatever, but he says he knows he's going to get his hands back on the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Then he talks about the fact that there's 2 Blackpool Combat Club members in the World Championship final, and Claudio says they love to fight, but sometimes they fight between them, and the good thing is that one of them will win, and by next week the Blackpool Combat Club will have 2 world champions. So I'm sorry to break it to you, Claudio, that little piece of irrelevant fucking title that you hang over your shoulder, mate, that's not a world title. That's a Ring of Honor title that isn't worth $5. You can pretend it's a world title, and you can pretend it puts you in the same category as Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, it doesn't even put you in the same category as Stone Cold E.T., man. Give me a hell yeah. That guy was fucking better than Cesaro. Then Jericho comes out. He's on commentary, comes onto the top of the ramp, basically says I'm a 7-time world champ. Now, this is pathetic. Even Jericho's trying to, push the Ring of Honor title as a world title when it's just not. It is clearly not. And then Jericho said he wants to be an 8-time world champion. He says he's been a world champion everywhere he's been. He wasn't a world champion in ECW, so he got that wrong. I don't know if he was a world champion in New Japan. I don't fucking care if he was a world champion in New Japan. Fuck New Japan, right? New Japan sucks. And then he challenges Claudio. Claudio tells him, be careful what you wish for. You're careful, Jericho, careful. He says he's going to beat his ass, and then that's pretty much it. It's Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor non-world title. So we're getting that next week. What was the point of Wheeler Yuta being out here? He literally just came out and stood behind. I mean, how bad do you need to be when Cesaro is cutting promos for you? Holy fuck. I remember John Cena cutting promos for Ryback, but that's kind of like understandably because Ryback sucked on the mic. All he could do was feed me more, feed me more. Like, that's all Ryback had. But John Cena, of course, is one of the best talkers of all time, so that was okay. But fucking Cesaro sucks. All the guy can do is come out and go, Ring of Honor. That's about as much as Cesaro can muster on the mic. So why is he cutting promos for Wheeler Yuta? That just shows you how fucking bad Wheeler Yuta is, man. This guy's a mess. The guy's an absolute joke. I mean, you've got Wheeler Yuta in a stable with, like, and I'm not even a big fan of Brian Moxley and Regal, but Jesus Christ, man, that guy looks so out of place next to those guys. I mean, if you compare what those guys have done in the business to Wheeler Yuta, I mean, Daniel Bryan and Moxley, compared, just the fact that they've won world titles in the last decade, they're like legends compared to Wheeler Yuta. So what, I mean, seriously, why is Wheeler Yuta with these guys? It makes no sense to me. But anyway, we're getting a promo next week. We're getting a match next week. Claudio versus Jericho for the Ring of Honor title. Who cares? We then get the TBS champion Jade Cargill backstage with the baddies. Same shit every single time. It's Jade Cargill and the baddies basically saying that she's dominated the women's division. She's ran for they called the division the best women's division on the. I mean, it's best women's division. How? I mean, you could make a case it's not even as good as the TNA division. Never mind the W. Look at the people in the WWE division. Seriously, I mean, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and you're going to tell me that this division, Bayley, you're going to tell me this division's better? I mean, are you serious? Are you fucking retarded? There's no way this women's division's better. But then they say they've ran through everybody when all Jade Cargill has done is she's beat the low mid card jobber women. That's all she's done. Who has she faced? Who has Jade Cargill faced that actually competes for the AEW Women's Championship? She hasn't beat Thunder Rosa. She hasn't beat, Britt Baker. She hasn't beat Shida. She hasn't beat Toni Storm. I don't think she's beat Jamie Hayter. She hasn't beat any of those people. So, I mean, she says she's beat all the women. Yeah, she's beat all the women maybe on AEW Dark. But in terms of, like, the women that at AEW, like, push as main eventers, Jade Cargill's beat none of them. So, again, claiming to clean out the women's division is just absolutely wrong. And then, speaking of women's division, one of the worst matches I've seen in a long time. Willow Nightingale versus Penelope Ford. I mean, Penelope Ford's a jobber, but she somehow wins this match. There was a spot where Willow Nightingale, I mean, there was a lot of bad spots, let's be real, let's be honest. Every spot in this match fucking sucked. But there was a spot in particular where Willow Nightingale goes for like a pounce, and like Penelope Ford kind of like stumbles and like plants her feet so she doesn't walk into it. And then, like, on a 2-second delay, Willow Nightingale just kind of, like, waits and then jumps across the ring when there's no one there. This looked fucking phony as fuck. This was horrendous. This was shockingly bad. I'm surprised Tony Khan didn't come out and just cut the match right there. But then we go to a break, the match comes back, these two are still going. They're hitting all these moves that look like absolute shit. There's just, like, no impact, no velocity. They're, like, coming off the ropes, but with just no... Like, there's just nothing here, man. It was like they were wrestling underwater. It was like they were underwater, man. It was like so slow. And you could just, I remember Mountie Brown or, Marcus Corvon, call him what you want. When he did the pounce, he legit looked like he fucking was killing you. When I seen the pounce in this match, man, it was like in slow motion. Like it barely made impact. And then the seller of it's just terrible. No one can tell me that women's wrestling's better than men's wrestling. It's just not. It sucks. It really does suck. Speaking of sucking, we had Danhausen versus All Ego Ethan Page with Stokely Hathaway. I mean, who cares? Danhausen comes out. Shitty tattoos. Gets beat. I mean, whatever. I mean, Danhausen loses to Ethan Page. And Excalibur says, a great first outing for the firm. Well, it was never in doubt. I mean, Danhausen came out and on his wee bracket it says, picked up a victory over some, like, bum 2 weeks ago in AEW Dark. I mean, the fact they even need to mention that is embarrassing. I think his all-time record's 3 wins, 4 defeats. And people say this guy's going to be up there with The Rock and Austin. Are they serious? Backstage, Absolute Ricky Starks says he was taking over. I mean... Absolute Ricky Starks. What does absolute mean? How about absolute shit? Ricky shit. How about that? Ricky shit. That's what I'm going to call him from now on. Absolute Ricky shit. I mean, who cares? He'll see him personally in New York City. Couldn't give a fuck. Then the Ring of Honor World title. It's Josh Woods, the challenger, versus Samoa Fatboy Joe. Samoa Joe is beginning to get fat as fuck. I remember when this guy was in WWE... And Paul Heyman was portraying Samoa Joe as a killer, and Heyman was worried about Brock Lesnar's title reign, and Samoa Joe actually felt like a massive deal. He felt like a legitimate threat, a legit main eventer, a guy that could kill you. Joe's going to kill you. Now all we're singing is Joe's going to fucking eat Big Macs, because he's fat as fuck, man. It was embarrassing. We've seen Josh Woods try a roll-up on Fatboy Joe, and it was just so fucking slow. Samoa Joe could barely get on his back. Then we seen him go for a move. He lifts Samoa Joe up onto his arms as if he was about to hit an AA. And then the commentator says, look at the strength of Josh Woods. And then he tries to do the move and he just drops Samoa Joe because Josh Woods obviously isn't that strong and Samoa Joe obviously is that fat. As Scott Steiner would say, he's fucking fat. So he's very fat. And then Joe ends up winning the match. I mean, who gives a shit? Muscle Buster. And then some guy comes in, Tony Nese comes in, hits Joe. Wardlow makes the save. Wardlow then looks at Joe. Then they say, "Oh, I want to see this Wardlow versus Joe." You know, and then they get the titles and they like smash the titles together. I mean, Austin's 2 beer cans getting smashed together. Those 2 beer cans had more prestige than these 2 titles. Joe and fucking Wardlow pretending they're big champs when in reality no one gives a shit. They smash their titles together, then go off. The show goes off the air with Tony Schiavone. He's like, "Oh, I've just been told by Tony Khan, tag team match next week." So we're supposed to believe that Tony Khan is just like in the space of 10 seconds has booked this tag team match for next week, and they're trying to make us believe that's happening live when we already know this match has been booked in advance. It's just so phony when they try and basically say that Tony Khan is on the fly and he's giving them information on the spot. I mean, we know that's not happening. But yeah, whatever. Nice and Woods run away, and then you got Wardlow and Samoa Joe left in the ring. Garbage. Absolute garbage, guys. One of the worst hours you'll ever see. Samoa Joe, it's not funny. I like Samoa Joe, but he needs to lose weight. He's fat as fuck. He needs to lose weight. Well, honestly, why not? If he can't go back to WWE, if Triple H doesn't want him, why not go back to TNA? I think Joe could be the main guy on TNA. Joe could legit be the top star on TNA. In AEW, he's been lost in the shuffle. I would much rather see Joe back in TNA. Why not? Do it. Go for it. Try it. The women's match was just awful. Every single move these 2 done looked terrible. Willow Nightingale, never want to see her again. Danhausen fucking sucks. Darby Allin fucking sucks. Claudio Castagnoli can't speak a word, sucks. Wheeler Yuta legit can't speak anything, sucks. Eddie Kingston looks like a homeless fucking bum. He sucks. Everything on this show sucks, man. I mean, you get Jericho and Matt Hardy at the start, and that's as good as it gets, you know. That's as good as the show gets. So I'm going to give this a -1 out of 10, and the reason it's getting a -1 out of 10 is because Samoa Joe needs to lose some fucking weight, 100%. And the match between Penelope Ford and Willow Nightingale was one of the worst matches I have ever seen. No joke, it was that bad. And it actually went long. It wasn't like a women's match that got like 2, 3, 4 minutes. Fucking there was a break in the match and everything. This match must have went about 10 minutes, man. Wow, unbelievable. Way too long. Anyway, guys, that's it. That's your AEW Rampage disaster. It's definitely another Friday night to forget for AEW. And that's it. Catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.